Hello everyone, I'm Jennifer Fierro. The Burnet High School football team is in the second round of the playoffs for the first time since 2009, where they'll face Kennedale, their third consecutive opponent that utilizes a power run offense. Here's head coach Kurt Jones.
Plain Land passed us the last district game, and then Alvarado last week. Kennedale is kind of in that same mold that they much prefer to run the football than they do to throw it. And they do a very good job of basing their offense out of the wing tee, and they have some very talented backs that can make some things happen.
One of them, I believe, is Washington, who's run or rushed for around 2,200 yards. You know, correct me if I'm wrong on that. What makes him such a dangerous runner?
I think you're right. He's somewhere in that neighborhood of yards. I don't know exactly how many, but it's a bunch. And you know, when you turn on the film, it doesn't take long to figure out why he's rushed for that kind of yardage. He's a explosive back. I think he went to the state meet for him last year on their track team, and somewhere around a 10-7, 10-8, 100 meters guy, from what I understand. Has good lateral movement and runs the ball strong. So that'll be a challenge to keep him bottled up and his explosive plays limited.
Do you think it is an advantage for your team that your defense has already faced two other running teams in back-to-back weeks?
Maybe so. I think our kids understand what it takes to stop a strong running attack, and we have to be able to line up and do those kinds of things that it takes, like taking great pursuit angles and doing a great job of swarming to the football and wrapping up and tackling. And if we can do that, then we'll give ourselves a chance.
Defensively, what does Kennedale do so well?
You know, they have a lot of athletes on the defensive side of the ball as well. Their secondary is very talented. Have a couple of talented safeties that have several interceptions on the year, and some corners that can play some tight man-to-man coverage on you. Their linebackers are athletes. They move well and can run to the football, and then they've got a few D linemen that have some size to them and some explosion, and so they're solid defensively as well.
How do you think your spread will handle their defense?
Well, you know, we have seen them against a few spread offenses, and that's always something when you're trying to trade films with an opponent. You want to try to get something on film that is similar to your offense, so you can try to see how they defend against the spread. And you know, sometimes you start watching those films, and at first it's kind of hard to figure out where you're going to have your breakthroughs, but as you go along, you start finding some things that you feel like you can take advantage of. And it'll be important for us to have a good balanced attack and to continue to do the things that we've done well over the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. And you know, our kids understand that. They know that we've just got to go out and execute our stuff.
Burnet senior kicker Austin Huff was in Texas A&M to watch the Aggies' last home game of 2013, and he had one of the best views in the house.
During pregame, you literally stand from like me to you to the players, and it's really cool. And so like I stood by the punters and kickers and got to chit chat with them, which is really cool because they're all really good aspiring athletes trying to play at the next level. And they're just really cool people. And I know the punter Drew Kaiser. He's like top 5 in the nation as far as punting average goes, and he's just a real godly man, just a good role model to look up to. So it's awesome.
What kind of advice, or did you ask for advice? Give me some of the natures of the conversation.
Well, I mean, since they're getting ready for the game, I don't have a whole bunch of time to just sit and chit chat with them. I'm just, you know, just giving them compliments, just saying nice hit, good ball. I mean, but other than that, I just talked to them after the game in the locker room, congratulating him. Nothing. I haven't really had the time to ask for advice or anything like that. But
especially somebody who averages, because your punt average isn't bad either.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I know it's in the 40s, so that's all I know. I'm just ready for this week for sure.
For sure. Not that I want to keep harping on this, but for those of us who've never been to an A&M game, what was the atmosphere like from the sideline for you?
It was just crazy. Like all the tradition, all the fans. I mean, it's super loud, and it's just gives you. I mean, you get a gut-wrenching feeling just being a fan there. I could only imagine being a player there. It's just really awesome. The atmosphere is unreal.
And I hear that you and your dad had a chance to meet Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, we did. After the game, he had to go into their little team meeting room and do a post-game interview, and he was like taking pictures with some of the other recruits and stuff, and we showed up there kind of late because I was talking to Jeff Banks, the special teams coach there, and he said he'd be out in a couple of minutes, but it ended up turning into about 45 minutes, so we didn't get to take a picture with him, but he seemed real cool. He was a lot more humbled than I thought he was going to be.
Okay, all right. You mentioned this week's game, Kennedale. Let me get a few thoughts about them. I know you had the two big field goals last week against Alvarado. You had a few punts here and there, especially some punts that really pinned Alvarado, deep in their backfield. What are your thoughts going into Kennedale this week?
Well, I just have a lot of faith in our offense and defense, and I mean even special teams. Last week we all three just shot right up. We did real well all together, and I mean I'm sure our defense is going to stop their run game like that. And then our offense is just going to go down and score. So hopefully I'll just be kicking extra points and kickoffs.
Any nerves right now going into the second week?
Not at all. Since I had a really good week last week, I just got this confidence going into the game. So I'm really excited.